Glad to see y'all. I remember when this group had met at the YWCA on Augusta Street in the sunroom. It'd be like 25 ladies in their 60s and me. It was awesome. So whenever when I'm sitting down here, I don't really look at the crowd. And when I come up here and I look at all your faces, and I'm so excited to see you, thrilled you're here, and please come back. Oh, okay. I am not Laura Haight. I am Roxanne Cordonier. I am, thank you. Filling Laura's shoes while she has her knee replacement has not been an easy ride. I'll be honest with you, but thank God for my good board members, including my technical wizard, Parma, in the back. I love you. And I mean that very sincerely. But anyway, Laura is recovering from her knee replacement and doing quite well. And I have attempted to fill her shoes again, and it wasn't easy. We celebrated Mother's Day on Sunday, and I wanted to take just a moment to honor the extraordinary women in our lives. Being a mother is arguably one of the toughest yet most rewarding roles in our world. It's a journey of unconditional love, endless patience, and incredible tenacity. We want to recognize the mothers, grandmothers, foster mothers, stepmothers, aunts, cousins, and all the maternal figures for their tireless efforts. You are our first teachers and our loudest cheerleaders. To those currently in the trenches, we salute your dedication. Just remember, nothing lasts forever, and that includes potty training and tantrums. To those mentoring others, we appreciate your wisdom. Thank you for bringing hope, light, and love into our lives. And in the words of the immortal Betty White, it's not easy being a mom. If it were easy, fathers would do it. We have a full slate of candidates. And if you're confused about who's running in the primary, these cards can be at one of the tables outside, and this lady in the back has several of them. So if you'd like to take that home, please do. Our 50-50 recipient this month is once again the Palmetto Abortion Fund. There's a QR code at your tables if you care to donate and haven't done so already. I'm very pleased to announce that with your support, we've raised $600 for the Palmetto Abortion Fund, a very worthy cause. And we thank you so much for your generous donations. Keep them coming. There's no doubt pregnant women are in crisis in our state, and you can help with your contributions. And also want to thank everyone, all the volunteers, all the attendees for tastings on the town. We did meet our fundraising goal. We want to thank Laura and Evelyn for heading that up. Thank you. It was very successful, and we appreciate everybody that participated. Don't forget, it's Member Get a Member Month from now through June 11th. New members need to put in the name of the current member who referred them into the field on the form. The member with the most new members signed up and paid will win a $100 gift card. Spread that form to your friends. It can be found on the Democratic Women's tab at greenvilledemocrats.com. While you're there, you can also sign up to be a state delegate. Lynn Ramirez. Yes, you're up, babe. Lynn has been in charge of rounding up state delegates.
Today is your last day to sign up if you want to be a delegate to the state convention. That convention is May 30th. We have an executive committee meeting specially called for tomorrow night to get you approved. And then you'll have time to get vetted by the state and you're all set. So please see me. Today is your last day. Thanks.
Okay. Let's see. I think that's all my announcements. So we're going to go into the remarks section. Winston Churchill once said, when you're going through hell, keep going. I think of that quote a lot lately because we're all going through the hell that is the Trump administration. Every day there's a new outrage, some crass statement or rude act. The one that sticks with me most recently was when King Charles and the Queen were visiting. There was a receiving line at the White House made up of members of the cabinet and high-ranking officials so that they could shake hands with the King and Queen. A video shows Camilla and Charles beginning to step toward the line, hands outstretched. Then Trump cuts in front of both of them and proceeds to shake the hands of all his cabinet members. What a thrill. Meanwhile, ever the proper royal stepped aside, let him blunder on. So embarrassing. Meanwhile, back here in South Carolina, you've got nonstop TV commercials for the herd of Republicans running for governor. My favorite is Ralph Norman promising to take South Carolina in a more conservative direction. I don't think that's possible, but I'm sure they'll find a way. My favorite Ralph Norman anecdote was when he met with Moms Demand Action while he was a congressman, a group dedicated to ending gun violence. Norman pulled out a handgun and laid it on the table during the meeting. What a class act. And now that the Voters' Rights Act has been thoroughly gutted by our Supreme Court, South Carolina wants to join the stampede of Republicans in red states clamoring to redistrict and exclude people of color from electing their chosen representative. It's all very depressing and disheartening. I'm a big fan of the author Anne Lamott. I appreciate her wisdom and her insight, and she recently wrote something which I found comforting, and I hope you will too. Well, here's the thing. What's always worked before will work again. We stick together, we feed the poor, we take to the streets loudly and peacefully, like Molly Ivins said, banging pots and pans and shouting, "This must end." We keep the faith in we the people, in the Constitution, in the basic goodness and courage of people. A Jesuit friend, Tom Weston, tells me when I'm at the most frantic and doomed, we do what is possible, what is practical, simple, and kind. You've all got the kind part down. We wave to people, we return phone calls and library books, we pick up litter, we flirt with older people in the express line even though they brought coupons. You give some money or food or clothing to the poor. You drop dollar bills into paper cups. You show up. You listen to people who are hurting while refraining from offering your incredibly annoying advice. The game of life is rough, and a lot of people are playing hurt. We listen. We get them water. So do what you can every day. Be kind. Take action when you can. If you're looking for ways to get involved, you can go to greenvilledemocrats.com, or you can do the QR code to volunteer on the table. Check out our monthly calendar events that was on the slideshow. There's something for everyone to do, and we need everyone. And sometimes you just want to be among people who get you. Next month, we'll meet at 5:30 p.m., so all the working folks can join us. And that evening time will hold true all summer, June, July, and August. Our 50-50 recipient will be Mill Village Ministries in June and Mill Village Farms. Here to speak about Mill Village is Rhonda Rawlings.
Thank you so much. And thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak to you today. My name is Rhonda Rawlings. I am a longtime broadcaster, radio and TV here in the upstate. And when I knew it was time for me to transition out of full-time radio work, I wanted to be really intentional about what my next move would be. So I did the news in the morning and radio and a public affairs show on Sunday mornings, and I knew my next job, I wanted it to be something where I would have still a great platform for service to the community. And that's where Mill Village came along. I volunteered there for a couple months and then saw the amazing work they were doing. And I told the executive director, if you ever have anything available, think of me. So he looked at me kind of strange, and I didn't know what to make of that. I went home and I told my son what I had told the executive director. And I said, I don't know. He looked at me kind of strange. And then the next week, he came to me and said, I heard what you said, but I didn't believe you because I know what your background is. And then they opened up a position for me at Mill Village. And that has been a little over 5 years from now. Here's why I am so passionate about this organization. Mill Village Ministries is a 501c3 nonprofit, umbrella nonprofit. So we have 4 enterprises underneath our umbrella. The one most people have heard of is Mill Village Farms. And Mill Village Farms works to bring healthy, fresh produce into our community every other week. We know that communities in low-income areas suffer disproportionately from things like cancer and high blood pressure, obesity, diabetes. And we also know that those illnesses can drastically decrease when you're intentional about including healthy fruits and vegetables into your diet. So Mill Village Farms gets boxes of fresh produce out into those communities every other week Anyone can purchase the box, which is a $25 value. Anyone can purchase for $20. If you're on SNAP or EBT, that box is only $5. And we just started a new initiative where we will deliver for free to your doorstep. And also Village Launch, which is a program that helps small businesses and entrepreneurs. We know that the largest rising class of entrepreneurs is women, particularly Black women. So we provided classes for entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs, to let them know that you can take what they call a side hustle into your real business that makes money and creates a legacy for your family. So we have business classes that teach entrepreneurs everything from marketing to finance to building a business plan or revamping one that you already have. We also have Village Wrench, which is a full service bicycle shop. When I moved here, I'm from New York. I've lived in Los Angeles and Philadelphia. And one of the things that I thought when I first moved to Greenville 17 years ago is, where's all the transportation? Where are the buses? And right. And so we know that so many people rely on bicycles to get themselves to and from work. So Village Wrench is a full service shop. You can purchase bicycles there. But the great thing, and the thing I really, really love about it, is we have a program called Earn a Bike, which anyone can work community service hours, volunteer hours, anywhere in the community. Bring those service hours to us in exchange for a free bicycle. Village Ranch and Mill Village Farms also provides youth training to get our young people ready to get their first job. We do mock interviews and so many different things to help them get ready to go into the workforce. And then Village Engage, which is our social justice arm of the organization, which we have a Fourth Friday conversation opened up to the community every fourth Friday of the month with different topics, affordable housing. We register people to vote and so many different things. And those are our 4 enterprises for Mill Village Ministries. And I'm so proud to be a part of the organization. So many of you have supported us, and thank you. And I think I'm getting ready to be pulled off. So thank you for the opportunity to talk to you today.
They're doing wonderful things in the West End. So if you get a chance, you'll see them down there doing their thing. And again, that will be up for the June meeting. You can contribute online, or you can contribute when you come to the meeting with the QR code. We're going to hear from 14 candidates today. We'll take them in alphabetical order, and each will have 3 minutes to speak. Leslie is our timekeeper. And when she raises her hand, you have 30 seconds left. In other words, wrap it up. Because we got to move. So, I'm not afraid to come up here like I just did. So don't make me do that. We will not take questions individually, but we have allocated 10 minutes for Q&A after all the candidates have finished. There are index cards on your tables with pens. Write your questions down, and at the appropriate time, raise them up, and then we'll come collect them. So here we go. Angela Aiken is our first candidate.
Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. I am the bridge. My name is Angela Aiken. I am your next councilwoman for District 23. I am here today because life have taught me how to persevere during adversity. I am the proud mother of 3 kids and the daughter of Louise Aiken. My firstborn kid was born without his eyeballs. So I know how to deal with life and everything that it throws at you. At a very young age, I had to learn how to do this. So I'm not a politician. I'm going to be quite frank with you. But I am a servant, and I've been a servant all my life. I know how to communicate with people. I know how to listen to people. I know how to see people. And then I know how to get together with them to make resolutions. So these are the things that I will be bringing to the table as the next council person. I am the bridge that will help with the infrastructure. I have things lined up, plans lined up to help combat some of all this overgrowth with no infrastructure to cater to it. I also have plans for helping with the housing issues. Things that are truly affordable. Not these things where we're putting affordable on the name of it, and it's actually not affordable for the common working people. So, with that being said, these plans that I have will help us to go into the next having a servant versus a politician. I'm not in this for me. I don't have to be in it to get the things that I need. But I am here to serve people who have not been heard, who have not been seen, and are just waiting on the opportunity to bring something to the table. Because if you look at it, everyone around us in every neighborhood has something that they could bring to the table to make us better Americans, make us better citizens, make us better communities. And I am that person who's willing and able to bring it to the table and to help with these communities. I see the hand going up, but I'm going to be around even after this is over with. If you want to have a conversation with me, I'm willing to have that conversation. Thank you. And y'all have a blessed day.
Angela brought that up. If the candidates can stick around after Q&A to have some conversations, that would be great if you have time in your schedule for that. Our next candidate, you might have heard of her, Annie Andrews.
Woo! So speaking of temper tantrums and potty training, what do y'all say we send Lindsey Graham home in 6 months? I am Dr. Annie Andrews. I am a mom of 3 school-aged children. I am a pediatrician. I am a pragmatic problem solver and a public servant. I am not, nor do I ever seek to be a career politician, but I am standing here before you laser focused on my mission to end the decades-long career of swamp creature / warmonger Lindsey Graham. And I've spent my entire 20-year career working in children's hospitals. But after about 15 years of doing that work, I started to understand the impact of broken policies coming from failing politicians like Lindsey Graham on my patients and their families. Because you see, these policies are harming our kids and families long before they get to the door of a children's hospital, long before they get to the door of a public school system. So I understood that politics was my path to most efficiently and effectively solve the problems of the patients that I've cared for here in South Carolina for nearly 20 years. I don't want to spend today talking about all the ways that career corrupt, cowardly politician Lindsey Graham has let us down over the past 3 decades, 3 weeks, 3 days, or 3 hours. I'd rather tell you what kind of senator I'm going to be. Number 1, I say what I mean and I mean what I say. Number 2, I'm not afraid of a fight. And the reason I'm so fearless is because I'm in this fight for my 3 children. Number 3, I will always tell you the truth. And number 4, children always have been and always will be my North Star. Every single vote I take when I get to Washington, D.C. will be on the side that benefits America's children. And the good news about that is what's good for kids is good for families. And what's good for families is good for communities. And what's good for communities is good for economy. So when you put kids first, we all win. My 3 campaign priorities are going to be fixing America's broken healthcare system, starting by fully funding the Medicaid program, protecting Medicare, fully funding the CDC and the NIH, and doing everything within my constitutional power to impeach and remove RFK Jr. My second priority is to address America's cost of living emergency, and my third priority is to root out the corruption that is degrading American democracy by passing term limits, by getting dark money out of politics, and by banning members of Congress from trading stock. I want to tell you that we can win this race. I have raised nearly over $7 million. I have outraised Lindsey Graham the past 3 fundraising quarters. He has cried about it on Fox News twice already. And most importantly, I have a poll that shows me in a head-to-head matchup against 30-year incumbent politician Lindsey Graham just 2 points behind. With your help, in less than 6 months, we can send Lindsey Graham home and elect the first ever pediatrician senator. Thank you all so much.
See, the more you do that, the better you get. We're going to go slightly out of line here. Brandon Brown is not here. No. Okay. We have 2 videos, and I'll be frank with you. Jermaine is caught in traffic, so oh, he's here? Okay, cool. To give him a breather. Okay, gotcha. Okay, we have 2 videos of candidates who cannot join us today. We're going to show Lisa Ellis and then Wendell Jones. Thanks, Parma.
I learned that the issues that I predicted have come to fruition. And so taking in the 2026 campaign, it's going to be a lot of educating voters on what the actual impact of decisions that are being made at the Department of Ed level, how they're impacting our students in South Carolina and our teachers. And so just really making sure people know the importance of voting correctly in this position, and making sure they understand what's at stake. Well, I think first and foremost, people who are moving to the state often don't know or don't realize that the superintendent of education is an elected position. There's only 7 states in the United States where it is elected. Everywhere else it's appointed by the governor or their legislature. So first and foremost, know that you do have the opportunity to vote for this position. And I think that understanding that I have been in the classroom in schools for 25 years, and I have the experience of understanding the impact of policy directly on our students and teachers in our schools, and I really will work tirelessly every day in the position to make things better for our students in South Carolina. I have been back in the classroom at Whitewood High School doing student activities, so working with kids to create programming for our entire school, really focusing on leadership and service. I have also been an adjunct professor at College Charleston, teaching an undergrad class and a graduate level class. I was ready to quit the profession. And so I just felt alone. As teachers, we are surrounded by humans every day, but it's a very lonely profession. And so I created the closed Facebook group to send out the teachers to start building that community of teachers so that we could talk to each other, find out what was going on. We quickly realized the fact of the matter was that we were all suffering from the same problems, regardless of where we were in the state. And so that closed Facebook community turned into a grassroots advocacy movement that really started galvanizing teachers to fight for their profession. First and foremost, repeal the book bans. We'll look at repealing all of those books and putting books back on the shelves for our students to be able to choose from. Secondly, we will work with our funding to make sure that it's being allocated in the best way possible to reach directly our students and our schools. And the third thing is going to be looking at school report card and how we can adjust that so it's a better measurement of how our schools are doing, and really work to focus on what is truly important for student outcomes.
To the Democratic Women of Greenville, thank you all so much for accommodating me and allowing me to come to you this way. Thank you, Laura, for always trying to make sure that I have a chance to speak to you all and being so gracious in providing a platform for myself and for others. I want to first tell you guys thank you so much for your tireless efforts to really help all of us in defending this democracy and to promote the things that are beneficial to not just pockets of America, but we are all working together to try to make sure that America works for all of us. And I want to tell you thank you for that. It has been a very interesting session down at the State House. And particularly this year, with it being an election year, we can tell that we've had a lot of legislation that's come through, designed to, I guess you can say, rally the base, and in some cases to allow some officials to go viral. But there's still a lot of important work to be done at the State House. And so we're going to have to continue to fight. And we're going to have to continue to send qualified people who will make us not only look good, but who will also do good. We have a great opportunity this year with having opposition in every seat, Democratic representation fighting for every House seat this year. But I want to remind you of this, that we know the temperament in Columbia, that they are already upset with us because they are being challenged in every House seat. But we also know that if we don't turn out in great numbers, we will face retribution next year. They will try to teach us a lesson. So we can't just get people registered to vote. We got to get them to the polls in June, the polls in November. I want to thank you all who live in my district and those outside of my district who have supported me over these last 4 years. It has been a true honor to serve. I think I finally got my sea legs about me. I'm understanding some things. I know where all the bathrooms are down there. But I'm also I've had the fortune of being able to push some legislation through the legislative process. And I can tell that I'm building a reputation there, respect there. And I'm being taken seriously as a legislator. And so I'm hopeful that I can get through this primary and make it back to Columbia for the work that we've started. I'm going to ask you for your prayers. I'm asking you for your support, ask you for your donation, but I also ask you just continue the good fight. Continue the good fight. We are making progress. It's slower than we want it to be, but progress nonetheless. Again, we got to get them to the polls. Make sure that we have exceptional turnout this election so that we can pull us back from the edge. All right. Thank you all so much again for accommodating me and allowing me to come to you this way. Take care. I am moving.
Wendell's running as an incumbent in South Carolina House 25. Okay. Our next candidate is Kyle Freeman. Kyle? No Kyle. Okay. All right. Jermaine Johnson, you're on. I didn't see that straight up, but you see that straight up. That seems.
Yeah, I'm a little tall, ain't
Yeah.
Go ahead. All right. Good afternoon, Democrats. Yes. I am Representative Jermaine Johnson, and with your vote, I am going to be your next governor of South Carolina, y'all. As a first, before I even get started, let me wish everybody in here, because I feel like I'm in the company of a bunch of hard-working Democratic women up in here, y'all. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers who are in here. I celebrated yesterday with my wife and my children. I was on that grill all day yesterday, y'all. So I might smell like a little barbecue because I was outside working all day yesterday. But listen, I'm honored to be here today because we are in a pivotal moment in history. We always talk about this being the most consequential time for an election, but this absolutely is the most consequential time. And if you have not been paying attention to what's been happening this last few weeks in terms of the redistricting situation, it is a hardcore attempt to silence people's voices. But what do we do when people try to silence our voices? We get louder. We get louder. It's time for us to get louder. It's time for us to be heard. It's time for us to take back our power that has been stolen from us. They are consistently trying to roll back our rights back to the 1950s and 60s. They believe that it's better for a woman to be silent. They believe it's better for us to be silent. They believe it's better for Black people to sit by the wayside. But it's time for us to stand up and say no more. Because what I know about this state is it is 51% women. 51%. Go ahead and clock it for y'all. It's 51% women. So this is what I need for the women in this room to do. I need y'all to make sure your voices are being heard. Make sure y'all are standing up to be counted. Make sure y'all are showing up so that they can understand where the power is truly coming from. It's coming from the people who are in this room. And I promise you that I will always stand with you. I will always stand not in front of you, not behind you, but beside you. I will be your partner in this fight because we see bills like S-1095 where they continuously try to restrict women's reproductive rights. And I talk about this story about myself and my wife often because when my wife was in the delivery room, and I've been there every single time, being a nervous man, being the individual who was trying to keep my wife comfortable, trying to allow her to just go through the process, but giving her the support that she needed. But never once during that time while my wife was giving birth did I feel like I would die based on my wife giving birth. But my wife felt a number of times like she might lose her life giving birth. Can you imagine if I would have lost one of my children and lost my wife at the same time? I would have been devastated. These are many of the issues that you all are facing in this room every single day. Your daughters are facing this. Your grandchildren are facing this. But with Jermaine Johnson as the next governor of South Carolina, we will veto all those types of bills. We will make sure that we restore these rights. We will make sure that we fight for a new and better South Carolina. So I'm hoping and praying that I can earn your vote in June. We got a few more weeks to go. We are beating these streets down. And on June 9th, we're going to get back to work. We're going to pull it through in November. And in November, South Carolina will be a blue state. God bless y'all.
Next candidate is Eunice Lehmacher. Eunice Lehmacher. Did I do it? Okay, sorry. She's running in U.S. House District 3.
Hi, my name is Eunice Lehmacher, and I'm running to be your congresswoman. I'm here because if you live in the south part of Greenville County or any county west or south of there, you can vote for me. And who knows, next week you might be in District 3. When I was a child, I lived in the pastor's house and people came and knocked and asked for help, money to pay utilities or rent. And you know what my parents did? They invited them in and said, come to dinner. And we had to share our food and I had to listen to their stories. That and many other things my parents did taught me these values that we all matter, that it is the job of all of us to take care of everyone. I took those values from my parents and became a high school math and physics teacher, a librarian, and the last couple of decades, I've been a medical social worker. Like Gilda Cobb-Hunter, I have the same degree. And I have worked for patients and students across the counties. I, like Annie Andrews, learned that that's not enough. Despite me working very hard and my patients and students working very hard, the government and, frankly, the Republicans are the problem right now. They're raising our prices. They're making it hard for us to have health care. And so that's why I decided to run. I think that we have to take care of all of us and also our future, right? I'm not just running for the next 2 years. I care about the people who are going to live in South Carolina in 7 generations and those plants and animals out there. We've got to take care of that to have a future for all of us. I have lots of ideas. Please check my website, Eunice, F-O-R-S-C, to see some of those. Let me give you just a few. I want to expand healthcare by refunding Medicaid, Medicare, and the ACA and expanding it. Let's make the eligibility age 64 next year and keep going down so more and more people are eligible. I want to lower your prices. They're too high right now. I've worked with so many people that have to choose between paying their medical bills or buying food for their children. That's not right. So I want to reduce the prices for housing and utilities, specifically utilities. Let's bring back all those subsidies for the renewables that this administration got rid of, and let's expand them so that in the future you and your children have free electricity like they're already giving away in some places like Texas and Australia. We could do that here. And of course, there are people breaking the law that are running our country, and I want to impeach not one, but a bunch of them. My opponent isn't using we, us, and ours. By that, I mean incumbent Sherry Biggs, not my Democratic opponent. I think everybody up here would be excellent above the people in Washington right now. She's using the pronouns he, whatever he said, me, how can I benefit from this office? And they, how can I find somebody to blame for the problems? I want to solve the problems for all of us, whether you voted for me or not. So please vote for Eunice. And you're voting in the primary June 9th or perhaps August. And I hope you'll pick the candidate that's already proven a track record of putting together a campaign that can beat the incumbents. I'm already doing phone banking, canvassing, digital ads are going out right before the primary, whenever that is. And I've been talking to voters all along. And I ask you to vote for Eunice Langmacher for U.S. House of Representatives.
Our next candidate is Ernest Mackins. Ernest, I know you're here. Okay.
Notice I took off my cell phone. Thank you all for having me. I wouldn't rather be any other place than right here where we are right now. So I am Dr. Ernest E. Mackins. I am a candidate for U.S. House District 3. I am also a U.S. Army veteran. I'm the Senior Vice Commander of VFW Post 6089, and I am a retired educator of 28 and a half years in the classroom. And I'm also a local businessman as well as a family man of 24 years with my wife. Now, let me tell you something. If you want to talk about servant leadership, I'm the prime example of servant leadership. If you want to put a person in that position that's willing to fight for you and fight for our country, then you're looking at the person right now. I fought for my country. I fight for my community. And on top of that, I'm a local pastor. And so with all that being said, we all are up here to relieve the incumbent on the other side, which is Sherry Biggs. She's got to go. And let me tell you something. Being a U.S. Army veteran, I get real disappointed in what happens. And one of the things is she sits there while our president calls us suckers and losers. And I tell you what, I am not a sucker or a loser. I don't think you are either. So with that being said, for me, things have changed drastically. And they talk about putting together a campaign. Listen, all of us in here are struggling to meet the necessary funds, and we need your help. We need your support. We're not going to be able to do it without you. But I want to tell you, if you get me there, let me talk to you about what I'm going to do. First of all, I'm not going to go over to the party and shake hands with them. We're not friends. My goal there is to work for you, not work with them to put you down. I have 4 things that I stand for. The first one is women's rights. I believe that all women deserve the opportunity to be treated equally and as citizens of this country. And then something happened that changed my whole perspective. The Supreme Court gutted the Civil Rights Act. And so most people don't think that affects them, but it does. And let me tell you something about Congress. I'm going to stop right here because this is where people get confused. Congress could have done something about it because Congress is the body that makes laws. See, people don't want to talk about that part of it. And so I believe in civil rights, women's rights, and I believe that we all deserve the ability to have a choice in what we say and do. Universal health care, you already heard them talk about it, so I'm not going to go into great detail. Yes, I believe in universal health care. 37 out of the 40 countries have accomplished this. Why not? Why can't we be 38? Something's wrong with that. And then cost of living is too high. You send me to Washington, D.C., we're going to work on that cost of living because cost of living needs to be brought down for all people, not some of the people, not this pocket over here, not just for these corporations, but we as American citizens deserve the right to live the life that we say we want. And the only way that happens if we raise the minimum wage from that little $7.25, because I don't know anybody that can live on $7.25. And then the final thing is accountability and opportunity. And you're correct. I'm going to shut down. Accountability and opportunity. These people need to be held accountable in Washington, D.C. You send me there, I'm going to hold them accountable. And listen, we all want to impeach people, but you can't impeach people if you don't have the majority in the House and the Senate. You need 60 people in the Senate. So I'm going to say that to you. If you want to help me out, go to MackensForUSHouse.com, vote for Dr. Mackens. You'll get a fighter in Washington, D.C.
All right. Our next candidate is Alan Mitchell.
Good afternoon, Democratic women and guests. My name is Alan Mitchell. I am the District 23 County Council person, Greenville County. I want you to know that I bring experience to this position. I grew up here in Greenville. Everybody can't say that, but I'm proud of it. When I was in school, Max Heller came to me when I was working at a planter in the summers, and he said, Alan, if you want to do something for Greenville, go away, get lots of experience, come back to Greenville and apply it here. And that's what I did. I've worked halfway around the world, and I've come back to Greenville, and I'm applying my experience that I had. It is an honor to be on county council now, because everybody who wants to get on county council has all these grandiose ideas about how they can do things. And I had to go through that with some people who said, oh, well, we don't need the penny tax or anything because we have enough money in the budget that we can pave roads and we can run the county and we can do everything we need to do just on $500 million in the budget. The penny tax is going to give us over $1 billion. So you do the math and figure out how are we going to do all of that on $500 million when we need it more than $1 billion. So we finally got some people to come around to understand they can't do that. Now we have to get them a little bit more educated so that we can come up with some plans to make it happen so that we can solve many problems. When I got on county council, I said I wanted to do something about housing, especially affordable housing. Since I've been on county council, we've been able to open up the Gordon Street Apartments Complex Affordable Housing Unit on the west side. We'll be having a groundbreaking ceremony tomorrow for the Alliance on the east side. And I've also wanted to do something with transportation. We've increased the bus cycles so that instead of an hour between buses, we have a half hour between buses. And we have more efficient routes. There's a lot that I could tell you about today, but it's hard to do it in 3 minutes. So I'm going to take my leave of you, but Alan Mitchell, County Council, incumbent, running for re-election, vote for me on June 9th, and I will continue to carry out the things that I promised you 3 years ago. It'll be 4 when this cycle is over. And God bless you all.
Our next candidate is David Mitchell.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm David C. Mitchell, candidate for Greenville County Council District 23, and I'm a lifelong resident of Greenville County, staying in these streets, working and fighting for our constituents of District 23. I am running for Greenville County Council because Greenville County Council is broken. It's been broken for a long time. We have Republicans who have given us vague promises and no solutions, and those solutions are not viable for the sustainability of District 23. So I, as a candidate for District 23, will focus on making sure that we have the support of our leadership as well as our council to make sure that we, as a county council, focus on developing plans and resources for residents of District 23. One of the key things I want to focus on as we look at moving forward, we've looked at affordable housing. I've heard candidates come forth saying affordable housing. It's becoming a cliche. All right. We have to make sure affordable housing is accessible and attainable. We need to put in programs in place that are going to make sure that's possible for people to have affordable housing that they can attain, that they can have resources in the bank, make sure they can have opportunities to move forward and retain those housing units in the legacy neighborhoods that they're being displaced and gentrified out of. One of the other key components I want to focus on is actually the growth and development of our transportation system. I've served over 20 years on the GTA board. I'm very proud of that service on the board. We've seen that process transition from a
our service, as Alan just spoke about, down to a 30-minute service. But we need to continue to fund our transportation system. I heard Rhonda say earlier about the opportunity of individuals having to ride bicycles. We want people to get out of their cars. We want people to get on our bus system and use it. We also want to focus on managed growth in our city. We said, Greenville. And we told people to come here. But we didn't build roads for them to get here. So we need to focus on building infrastructure so people can get here. Not roads with bumps in them, not roads with potholes, but roads that are going to make sure people have a safe, wonderful environment here in Greenville County. So with that, I ask that you support David C. Mitchell for Greenville County Council, District 23 on June 9th. Thank you.
Our next candidate is Derek Quarles. Derek? Yes.
Good afternoon, Democrats. Shirley Chisholm said, if they don't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair. And that's why I'm here today. I'm running for SC House District 25 because I'm not asking for a seat anymore. In this community for a very long time, I've been fighting for our community. And when I say our community, I mean the community in this room. Fighting against police brutality, fighting against systems that were designed to keep us out, fighting against the injustices that are happening every single day. Just last week, I was at St. Anthony's School fighting against a system that has been kicking Black students out at a disproportionate rate. Just one school year, 22 students have been kicked out of school, Black students in Greenville. And as David mentioned, we call it, yeah, that Greenville, right? And we want to paint a very pretty picture of what Greenville is. And yeah, it's a pretty city, but there are a lot of ugly stories that nobody wants to talk about. And I'm talking about those issues. I'm running not because of what I'm going to do. I'm running because of what I've already been doing. I was knocking on doors last week in Belle Meade, knocked on a door, met a girl. She was 23, white girl from Texas. And I said, what are you concerned about? And she said, I moved here 2 years ago by myself. I'm a mechanic. I met a guy online. We went out one time. He's stalking me. He went to jail, got out, stalked her again. She showed me the text messages he was sending her. I put my phone out. I called the judge right in front of her, had a warrant signed that next morning. He got picked back up. That's the fight I'm going to take to Columbia. Not waiting until somebody says you have permission to do this. Just 2 weeks ago, I was down in the district and I met with the plant manager. I won't name the plant. And when I was leaving the plant, I saw a lot of vacant buildings in the community. And I stopped by and I made a video and I talked about the potential to bring jobs into the district. And I talked about seeing empty spaces, but also the potential to see families making high earning salaries. Because as you know, in D25, we have more people with no high school education, with no college education, people who are making $15, $16 an hour, working 2 and 3 jobs, and that's still not enough. And I made a video and I talked about the potential to bring more jobs. And the incumbent said we have to wait until the Chamber of Commerce gives us the green light. I'm not waiting on the Chamber of Commerce. As a matter of fact, I met with the Chamber of Commerce 2 months ago, and they told me they've been waiting on the representative. And so who's waiting on who? And so that is the fight I'm going to continue to walk with and take to Columbia, because we have got to make sure we have representation. And in this climate, as y'all see, Republicans don't give a damn about anybody except for Republicans, right? And so we've got to have a fighter in Columbia who's not afraid to speak truth to power. I've been doing it a long, just Google my name, right? I've been doing it a long time. And so I'm excited to be here speaking to you ladies this morning and gentlemen that are in the room. And I know most of you can't vote for me, but go to my website, derekforsc.com. Because as a state representative, even though you can't vote for me, I would represent every last person in this room. And I can guarantee you, I will not let you down. Thank you all so much.
If you have questions for our candidates, if you'll hold these cards up, my friends will come pick them up. Okay. So just, if you have a question, please hold them up. Thank you. Our next candidate is Thomas Stewart, South Carolina House 10. Thomas, have you joined us? Okay. Our last candidate is Billy Webster.
Good afternoon. I feel a little overwhelmed being here, standing in front of the Democratic women again after 40 years. When I chaired the Greenville County Democratic Party, Joanne Montague and I would meet every Tuesday, and we try to figure out who was going to be the Democratic women's speaker for the next month. Frank Holloman every now and then would join us. We bargained with the Colonial Court Motel to try to keep breakfast prices below $2.50. And we prayed that they wouldn't tear the place down before our next meeting. The last speaker of my tenure, by the way, was the inimitable and much beloved Congresswoman Liz Patterson, whom we all miss. And here you are, after over 50 years of leadership. You kept the torch burning when most of us were afraid it was going to go out. Before I take just a minute to talk about myself, I want to welcome you, Jermaine, to Greenville. Dr. Johnson retired from the South Carolina legislature last week. He gave a stirring exit speech. And Jermaine, we want to thank you for your service and for your courage in running for governor. Thank you for being here. And it looked like so much fun, I thought I'd try it. In all seriousness, Dr. Johnson and I will agree on one thing. Things cannot continue as they are now. Most of you all know me, so I will dispense with my background. I will give you simply my closing argument. We must win in November. There is no plan B this time. Winning the primary and losing the general does us no good. We've done that a whole bunch of times. It doesn't work. Here's what's at stake. 25 years of one-party rule has left us with crumbling infrastructure, a constant threat to our clean water and beautiful places. It's left us with 500,000 uninsured South Carolinians, a mediocre education system, and an assault of affordability crisis every day. If we lose, Senate Bill 1095 will never go away. It will come back every session in a different form with a different number, and we will be threatened by it every day. Your state income tax is going to be cut or cut out, which will gut the state budget by $6 billion, and there will be nothing left for the things you care about. 25% of our population will be disenfranchised, including Jim Clyburn. Election deniers will run our polling places, and vicious, vengeful politics will be the norm. Arrogance is not a part of who I am, but I will tell you this. I'm the only candidate that can win this race in November. I am not a loser. I will do everything it takes to win. I will work hard. I will match the Republicans with resources. And with your help, I will win. This is Billy Webster, and I need your help.
Thanks to all our candidates. Really appreciate it. I know you're on a tight timeline here. I wanted to do just a little bit of Q&A if we can. And I guess we'll just come up to the podium since we don't have a microphone. Okay, this is for Jermaine, Dr. Johnson. Will you pick another Democrat for lieutenant governor, or are you open to someone else like Senator Katrina Shealy?
Thanks so much for that question. Listen, right now we are focused on winning this primary. That's what we are focused on. And once we get through this primary, then we'll start talking about who we're going to be running against, who we're going to be running with, and those different type of things. We saw Alan Wilson go ahead and pick his person. I want y'all to understand what that is about. He picked Mike Riggenbach because he has already assumed he'd be going against a Jermaine Johnson in the general. And he did this. He started doing opposition research on me 2 years ago. I know because I've got people that are in his circles. And he's already been trying to gear this up. He wants to steal the black vote and that different types of things. So I'm focusing on getting through this primary first. And once I get to this primary, then we'll decide that part there. But I want y'all to know that I am committed. I am committed to working with whoever it is, outside of probably one person. But I'm committed to working with everybody to make sure we flip seats up and down the ballot. No matter if I am the primary person that comes out on the other side, we will get people elected to flip these seats because we have to win in November, and I'm committed to making sure that happens. Thank you. Stand up here.
Hey, you might get another one. Dr. Andrews, I'm tired of the Democrats playing centrist and middle ground. So am I. I'm not interested in that. As a mom and an entrepreneur, how can I trust you not to play both sides but make lasting change?
I wouldn't be putting my entire career and essentially like 5 out of 7 nights with my children on hold to go up there and do nothing. I hope you believe me and you hear the passion in my voice when I tell you that I am in this fight for my 3 children and all 73 million children in this country. However, I am also a pragmatic person. We have to be willing to work with people, even people we don't like, if we want to move the ball down the field. Inaction is not an option. I will work with anybody who's willing to work with me to the job I'm hired to do, which is to solve the problems of South Carolinians. When I'm at the children's hospital and I have a sick child in front of me and I need someone's help, and I look up and I see who's on call for pediatric surgery, and it's a surgeon that I don't like, that doesn't mean I'm not going to call him if I need his help to solve the problem of the patient in front of me. And I will take that same work ethic to Washington, D.C.
This is for the District 3 candidates. If you guys can come up here, District 3 candidates, if you're still here with us. There we go. What are the 3 most pressing issues in our district, and how do you propose to address them and make it quick? Eunice, ladies first. Okay.
Not a long time to say. 3 most pressing issues: high prices that everybody's facing, and we need to work on that, energy and so on. The access to voting, that we are taking away the vote in many ways. And then healthcare. Healthcare is I'm a healthcare provider myself. Healthcare is the fastest growing industry in the U.S. So whether or not you have Medicaid or Medicare, you're benefiting from it by working there, by having your relative in a nursing home. And we need to protect healthcare by expanding it and by making sure that the people that work that industry and all of those served in it have affordable medicines, affordable hospital stays, and access. Our District 3 is mostly rural. The doctors and hospitals are leaving that area. I want them to stay in the rural areas.
Dr. Mackins, once again, it's affordability in housing. I see so many homeless veterans. I get really disappointed when I go out. These people put their lives on the line, agreed to give up everything. So affordability in housing would be my number one issue. And affordability is increased grocery prices, Medicaid price. Everything falls under affordability in housing. Simple as that. If we can afford one, we can get them into the other one. And then the second thing that I think is really pressing is the fact that Eunice did mention it, is we need to have universal health care. We've got to cut out this stuff. If these senators and Republicans can have universal health care, why can't we? What's going on with that? And then the third thing is real simple. We need to work on the infrastructure in all these cities and counties. All that stuff. We got to quit hitting potholes every time I get here. My car's probably tore up because I probably hit 20 potholes on the way here. Thank you.
Okay, this is for the incumbent county council members, Alan and David Mitchell. Do you support the penny sales tax, and will it be on the ballot? Gotta be quick. This is our last question.
Penny sales tax, yes, I do support it. We need that, and we're going to try to put it on the ballot. We still have some things to work out behind some of the closed doors, but the penny sales tax is truly important, because without it, we won't be able to fix all the roads that we need to fix. Thank you.
Yeah, my answer to that question is the same. I do support the penny sales tax only if it has a transportation component. I am committed to making sure that our transportation system is fully funded as a dedicated funding source. We're currently working on a transit development plan that's going to put a plan together for the next 5 to 10 years. I want to see our transportation system work and work effectively and efficiently for the residents of District 23, as well as the county. In order to get what we need and the growth we need to make sure that we have that resource available. So yes, I will support the penny sales tax only as it has a transportation component involved with it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. And if the candidates can stick around, I really encourage you to do so. And because I know there's more questions and you can get them one-on-one. every year, when we would have an election, my friends who know I'm a liberal Democrat, they would say, Roxanne, there's no one to vote for. There's no one to vote. You're not running enough candidates. Well, guess what? We're running some candidates this year. So I don't want to hear any malarkey about, oh, no one to vote. I got to write my own name in. Okay, come on. So spread the word, pick these cards up on your way out. These are the primary candidates, and give them to people who, are reluctant to vote or have given up, or they're hopeless and depressed. So, help us out here. And Christale Spain is the woman who is responsible for getting these candidates. That's right. Christale Spain is the first Black woman to chair the South Carolina Democratic Party. Christale's the proud mother of Zach Spain, who's a handsome young man who's completing his senior year at Benedict College. And I'll never forget Zach in the office of the Democratic headquarters holding Amanda's baby, and he's this huge guy. And it was so tender. It was very sweet. She's a South Carolina native, a USC at Aiken and Columbia College graduate. While in undergrad, you'll never believe it, but she was a premier women's basketball player, leading the team in rebounds and points. She's the only player in USCA history, male or female, to have over 1,000 career points and over 1,000 career rebounds. She's a proud member of Zeta Pi Beta sorority. Sorry. She got involved with the state party as a volunteer in 2012, working her way up to executive director. She's worked under the past 3 SCDP chairs. She's the founding chair of the SCDP Black Women's Caucus. She was a member of the DCC's bargaining committee, which led to the organization's first union, making it the largest collective bargaining unit in the Democratic Party. She joined the Teamsters due to this effort. Please welcome Christale Spain.
Thank you so much, Roxanne. And that always reminds me that I got to change that bio. It makes me feel so, like, did I put that up there? And it's old because my son is now 25. He graduated 2 years ago. So now he's out here working on campaigns. I won't say which one, but he's working on a campaign. But thank y'all so much for inviting me here today. Y'all always have such a wonderful room of good Democrats and good Democratic women. But I came here today to talk about what Roxanne talked about, and that is candidate recruitment. And this year, our historic candidate recruitment effort. So for the first time, we went back as far as 50 years. I can't remember why we stopped at 50. Somebody smarter than me can remind me why we did that. But we have a candidate for every state house seat, 124 state house seats. And right now, y'all, we only have 34 Democratic members, incumbents. So the rest of those seats are filled with Republicans. But now every one of them has a Democratic challenger. And that matters. Because last week, every one of those Republicans did something crazy. And that was try to put up this resolution to re-rig the maps. Because they already rigged, but they wanted to rig it again. But now they have somebody to answer to in November. And not only do we have 124 state house candidates, we also have a candidate for every congressional district. We've got 7 congressional districts, and we've got a Democrat running in every last one of them, even the 2 people running in the 3rd, where nobody knows where that is. We've got a candidate for U.S. Senate and a candidate for governor and all the way down the ballot. So your ballot is full. There is no election for you to sit out. You need to go in June. You need to go again in November. And the reason why we wanted to do this, so this was an intentional effort. It didn't happen by accident. We started talking to candidates. What year is it? 2026? 2025, I was calling Adair Ford Burroughs, who was our U.S. attorney at the time, and begging her to run for office whenever she got fired. I thought she was fired. She's like, Crystal, I'm still here. He doesn't know I'm over here yet. So he finally found her and he fired her. But she was a no. And so we continued with our candidate recruitment effort. And then I brought in a dear friend of mine and mentor, Jamie Harrison. And he agreed to co-chair our candidate recruitment effort. And if you know about anything about Jamie, he is a serious person and he is very aspirational. And he said, Crystal, we can get somebody for every office. I was like, look, I hate being disappointed. Let's just not try to put the bar too high, right? Let's start, trying to get our flippable seats filled. But he was very instrumental in encouraging us to shoot for the stars. And we did that, y'all. And we didn't just send out an email. We had hundreds of conversations. We sent out thousands of text messages trying to find folks in these small little crevices in places where we have not had Democrats run in 30 years. I think it's in Pickens. There is a state house district where there's a state house district in Pickens where they hadn't had a Democratic challenger in 30 years. Can you believe that? Yeah. Yeah, y'all can't believe it. I'm sorry. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what? But not this year. Because we can win this year, y'all. But we can't win if we don't fight. We can't win if we don't run candidates. And so what running candidates all across the ballot does is the first thing I think it does is it gets rid of this voter apathy. I think that gets created, as Roxanne already laid out, when people don't have anything to vote for. When they don't have anybody to vote for, they start thinking that, oh, I guess I'm a Republican. You know, we did a poll about, every day is Groundhog Day, y'all, so I'm trying to figure timing. Maybe it was 8 months ago. And what that poll told us that the Republicans here are vulnerable because the unnamed Republican did better than the Lindsey Graham, than the Alan Wilson. So what it said was it's the culture of the state. People just feel like they're Republicans, but they're absolutely not. And so it's important for us to have these 124 messengers to take our Democratic message back to Oconee, which is a very rabid place for Republicans. I've been up there and I'm going again today. The Republicans on Oconee and Pickens County are rabid. But we've got Democrats that can take that message to these folks and say, hey, I'm here with you, but these are my values, and start sharing our values. And the second thing I think that running candidates does, it also helps us fight up the ballot. Having candidates on the down ballot, even if they can't win, and some of these seats are going to be very heavy lifts, very difficult, but we can close the margin. Like Lynn Ramirez is running in a very difficult district, but just by virtue of her being on that ballot, she's going to close the margin. Folks are going to come out and vote for Lynn and also vote for our U.S. Senate nominee and also vote for our U.S. governor nominee, not U.S. governor, for our governor's nominee. So, but that's how we win. It may not be this landslide blue wave. I hope it is. But if it isn't, we can win on our own without that landslide, without that blue wave, because we've got candidates working in every district. But they need your support. And that support isn't just like patting them on the head. Thank you for doing that. That is not enough. I promise it's not enough. We need you on the phones. We need you on the doors. We need you to give your money if you got it. We need you to volunteer to help their campaign. And a lot of these campaigns are just running off sheer faith. And they've got their husband. I know Lynn's husband is probably her campaign manager, and they're going to do it together. But Lynn needs help. She needs somebody to drive her to some of these events. She needs a kitchen cabinet to bounce ideas off of. So don't just think that you came to this event and this is enough. It's not. If we want to win in November, and as somebody has already laid out, there is no plan B. Like, this is it. If you're a woman, and if you're a black woman, a black person, you feel like your ass is on the ballot in November, maybe that might be it. We are headed down a dangerous, slippery slope back into Jim Crow. I know what that means for people that look like me. I know you know what that means for women. We have to win, y'all, by any means necessary. If you got any fight left in you, it's time to mount up and get ready to fight. But I see I'm getting ready to get snatched off, and that's okay. But y'all, June 9th, show up and vote. Get people to go and vote. Nobody can tell you, oh, I don't have anything to vote for. That's a lie. Yes, you do. Come on, get in the car. Let's go. Pick somebody. Whoever you pick, that's on you. I'm not here to tell you who to vote for in June, but I'm here to tell you who to vote for in November. In June, you pick your person. In November, I will definitely be being a bully about it. But thank y'all so much. Thank you all for always having me. Thank you.
Okay. Just a few general announcements. If you want to get involved, if you want something to do, go to greenvilledemocrats.com and fill out the volunteer form. Look at our calendar of events and get busy, y'all. I mean, June 9th is right around the corner. If you know people who are like lackadaisical Democrats who, they maybe not only vote in presidential elections, call them and tell them to get in the car and let's go. But today's the last day to sign up to be a state delegate at the convention. See Lynn right here. She's got a sign up sheet. Thanks to my fellow board members, and you know who you are, for pulling me through and getting this meeting done. I could not have done it without you. Thank you so much. Thank you to all our elected officials who were with us. I see Dorothy. I see Chandra. Anybody else? We got, obviously our candidates. Oh, Lillian's here. Okay. Thank you. Oh, and Tina's here. Excellent. All right. Thanks to everybody who showed up. Oh, Lynn, you want to talk? Okay. No, go ahead.
On behalf of Dem Women, we also want to acknowledge Frank Holloman here. Frank and his wife, Ann, are huge supporters of the GCDP, had led the GCDP. And I know a lot of our campaigns are looking at potholes and things like that. But a less glamorous thing we often don't think of and take for granted are our environmental protections. And I know Frank, working with the Southern Environmental Law Center, has been tremendously valuable in getting rid of these coal ash deposits across our state. In April, our White House administration is rolling back those protections. That affects us here very much. So I appreciate you being here, Frank. Thank you much. And I want to correct Christale on something. And I hate to because I love you, but I am not going to narrow the gap. I'm going to beat him. All right?
Gotta go. Go do it. All right. Thank you all for coming. Hopefully the candidates will hang around. You can ask questions and stir things up. And Billy mentioned Joanne Montague. God rest her soul. She's right here with us today. And she'd be so excited. Thank you and see you in June.